This reminds me of a story.
Henry the Green Engine has lived on the island of Sodor for many years. He wouldn't want to be anywhere else. He loves every part of it, from the fields filled with flowers to the white sandy beaches. But there is one place Henry always enjoyed visiting more than any other. His driver knew this too. "Come on, Henry," his driver would sometimes say. "We made good time today. We'll stop for a while by the forest." Henry loved it here. The forest was full of broad oaks and tall pines. Henry could remember the day long ago when he and Toby brought some new trees to be planted, and Terrence and Trevor helped haul them into place. Now he could see the trees growing amongst the others on the hillside. Henry always felt better for being here. He never really understood why, but his driver understood. "It's peaceful," he'd often say. But one night, everything changed. The engines were resting in the shed. "Listen," said Thomas. "Can you hear a strange whistling sound?" "It's the wind blowing outside our shed," replied Toby. "But I've never heard it like this before." "Do you know," added James, "if Gordon weren't here right now, I'd say it was him thundering by with the express." All the engines laughed, except for Henry. "I hope the wind won't harm the forest." By morning, the fierce winds had gone, but the damage was done. Henry's driver came to see him in the yard. "Trees have fallen onto the line," he said. "We must help clear the tracks." Donald set off with the breakdown train, and Henry followed. Trees lay everywhere. The hillside now looked so bare. Henry felt sad. "What will happen to all the animals that live here?" he thought. When Henry's flat cars were full of logs, he took them to the timber mill where they would be turned into furniture and other things. Henry was glad to see the wood being put to good use, but he was still sad to lose part of his forest. "Oh dear," sighed Toby to Thomas. "I wish there was something we could do to make things better again." "Yes, indeed," replied Thomas. "But what? You can't mend broken trees." "Hello, Toby," said Sir Topham Hatt. "You do look glum." "I'm sad about the trees," said Toby, "and so is Henry. The forest is a special place to him, and now some of it is gone." "We'll soon put that right," smiled Sir Topham Hatt. "I have an important job for you, Toby. I would like you to take some freight cars to the forest." When the freight cars arrived, Toby was delighted. They were all full of splendid young trees ready for planting. "This is the best job I've ever had," said Toby happily. When Henry returned, he was most surprised. There were Terrence and Trevor happily helping the workmen move the torn stumps and branches. "Look, Henry," called Terrence, "we're beginning again. The hillside will look even better than before, you'll see." Now, whenever Henry visits the forest, he can see the new trees standing strong and tall. Sometimes everywhere is very quiet, and at other times Henry can hear leaves rustling or a bird's wing brushing the air. Often he can hear the distant sound of children laughing.
And always he is happy here.
Okay, two things. First of all, was I supposed to be like seeing something there? Because you're just telling me a story through the door, but the way you told it sounded like, I don't know, there was supposed to be visual accompaniment. And two, why?